and blessings to you. My name is Jere B. I am the EntreMusician, and so are you. And so is this brother who's sitting to my right. This is round two of an excellent conversation that we're having with the ultimate guitarist, Mr. Earl Carter. We're going to get deeper into some things that he was revealing. You got to go back and hear the first video, watch that, check it out, to introduce yourself to his great artistry. We're going to go a little bit deeper in this one, but before we do that, we're going to do this. And we want you to know that all of our videos are sponsored by the great folks at Vocal. Vocal is the only beverage on the planet designed to soothe, refresh, and restore your voice. If you talk all day or sing all night, you want to go to drinkvocal.com, find out how you can get some of this stuff. It will take care of your voice. And your voice is the only instrument you can't buy. See, Earl could buy 1,000 guitars, he can buy 200 basses, but he can't buy a voice. Neither can you. Go to drinkvocal.com. Brother, thank you so much for your time. I know that your time is limited and your schedule is busy, so I appreciate you sitting back down with us, man. I trust all is well.
All is well, and it's my pleasure. Pleasure being here.
Well, we got into a lot of great things. We found out in the last interview that you actually were in the band, the Go Go Band E.U., and that you participated in the Do the Right Thing soundtrack. You went to North Carolina where you were a rock bassist. You came back to DC. You have 8 albums under your belt. You've worked with some dynamic people in the music industry, and in just a few days, you'll be coming out with your 9th album, which is entitled Silky. Did I remember all that from the last time?
You know what? You're a good listener because you remembered all of that. You are definitely a good listener.
I didn't write anything down either.
Right.
But check it out. Here's what I want to ask from some of the questions I wanted to ask from before. Now, did you come from a musical family?
No. My brother was a guitarist when we were kids, and he put his guitar in the closet, his acoustic, and he'd go play basketball.
Older brother?
Older brother, right.
Mm-hmm.
I would sneak his guitar out of the closet when I was 6, and I'd try to play it, and I'd break the strings. I guess I was trying to tune it, and if you put too much tension on it, they'll pop.
Right.
Then I'd put it back in the closet with the broken.
Nothing happened.
Yeah, nothing. Right. So how did my strings break? Oh man, it might have been. It's hot. It's hot in here, man.
And you got it in the closet, for goodness sake.
Yeah, in the closet, and it's not even in a case. You don't take good care of it, man. Come on.
Absolutely.
So, actually, I always wanted to be a bass player. I'd seen what's it called, Don Kirshner's, some kind of rock.
Don Kirshner's rock concert is what it was called.
There you go. I saw a band on there that blew me away as a child. Return to Forever.
Oh.
Oh yeah. So Al DiMeola, Chicoria, Lenny White, and Stanley Clarke.
Oh yeah.
Stanley Clarke, I said, that's what I want to do right there. That's what I want to do. My brother said, here's what my brother said. He said, and I couldn't play anything at the time. All I could do was break strings off of his guitar. So he said, you want to be a bass player, but have you considered playing the guitar? No interest at all. I want to do what he's doing. The guy right there, the guy with the big bush. That's what I want to do. He said, think about this. He said, if you learn how to play the guitar, you will be able to play the bass. But if you learn how to play the bass, you won't be able to play the guitar.
Understood.
Yeah, you understand because you're a musician.
Yes.
Some people would think, what is he talking about? What's the way it's tuned, the tuning? And so I took his advice, and I could play both. But I was playing so well on the guitar that people just kept calling me to, and this was as a kid, playing first band. They actually thought that I was a prodigy. And I may have been because I didn't know what I was doing, but I could play. I could play like an adult, but I had no clue what I was doing. So maybe that is a prodigy type thing.
Sure.
So, yeah. So as a result, I ended up sticking with the guitar and doing more work with that than I even did with the bass. But I played both. But
wow.
Yeah. So he inspired me, and then he quit. He quit playing. Yeah.
Well, you kept getting the calls. You were the one getting the calls. It was like,
that's true.
There's basketball, right?
yeah, right. He's shooting hoop, and I'm in the room just shedding. I bought my own. I went to Music and Arts Center, bought the Method 1 book, and learned how to. I taught myself how to read guitar and all that. And they didn't offer it in school, and no, they didn't offer it in any grade school. But they offered, a concert band. So that's why I ended up picking up the sax and learning. So my formal training was on woodwinds.
So how old were you when you picked up the sax?
I was a teenager by then. I didn't pick up the sax until I was in the 10th grade.
I see. Yeah.
But I picked up the guitar seriously when I was 11.
So you never played saxophone on any of your albums? You just laid down basic parts and let somebody else do it? Or is there a track that we could hear you playing saxophone on it?
No. I only played like horn section parts. Nothing that, because I put it down. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I did.
You still got time.
Yeah. That's true. But
then you got cats like Marion Meadows coming in. You're going, wah!
Exactly. So I don't think and then I didn't mention Doc Martin. Philip Doc Martin plays the prettiest sax you ever want to hear.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a dentist. He's a dentist too. So he's a specialist at what he's doing,
And actually, my teeth right now, I inherited excellent teeth from my father, from my dad's that side. But over time, you do things like, especially if you don't take care of them, they need to be cleaned, and you need to do the maintenance on them. And then I think I cracked one, and I think I chipped another. So Doc Martin, I went and he opened his own practice.
That's correct.
He just recently opened his own practice.
That's correct. Right.
And I went in. It was top notch. Everything he did an excellent. I said, you know what, Doc? The few times that I took advantage of the fact that I inherited good teeth, so I didn't take as good care of them as I should. I didn't do the 6-month thing. I wasn't doing that. But so when I went in, he had to do a lot of work. Mm-hmm. But I said, you know what? I said, the times I've gone to the dentist, like when they shoot the Novocaine in and all that, I said, man, it hurt, man. He didn't, when he put the Novocaine in and he capped the chip up and all that, I didn't feel anything. And he did an excellent cleaning. I said, man, you're gifted as a doctor and as a musician. I mean,
absolutely.
What can't you do? Yeah.
He's a good spirit.
Did a great job.
I really like Doc. Yeah. He's a great spirit, man. Good people. And so, when you're dealing with Doc Martin and Marion Meadows, maybe you pick up the saxophone again. I don't know. Maybe you don't.
Maybe.
But here's what you mentioned. You mentioned, seeing at Don Kirshner's rock concert and whatnot. And with respect to, Stanley and Chick, is there one musician that really inspires you over, everyone else? When you think, I'm getting ready to start this project or I'm getting ready to go on stage, I mean, do you channel from somebody? Is there a George Benson or somebody that you go, this is where I'm at, this is what I'm after?
George Benson.
I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
It's like you answered the question. You answered the question with the question.
We'll move on because wow. I mean that dude is, you know, obviously, you know, we pay much respect to him, but, you know, early in the game when we were little and we were wondering, what is that sound? And he was chiming in on
Right.
Wes Montgomery. You know what I mean? He wanted to be Wes Montgomery. And now we have the Earl Carter,
Right.
the Norman Browns, you know, that's looking at George Benson as the standard. Now, let me ask you another question, because I'm really trying to go deep, man. What is your favorite books? EntreMusicians are readers. You know, we are lifelong learners. We're committed. Do you have a favorite book or books that inspire you or that you go to? I know the Bible. I know the Bible. I know the Bible. I know the Bible.
Yeah.
I know that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
What else do you have?
There are a few, but in the particular one, there's two of them that I really I enjoyed reading from the beginning to the end. One was The Millionaire Next Door.
Dude.
And yeah, man. And the other one was Rich Dad Poor Dad.
But this interview is over. You hitting them all. You chopping them all down. Absolutely. Robert Kiyosaki, The Millionaire, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and The Millionaire Next Door. Now, why? Let me ask you why, as an EntreMusician, that these two books inspired you.
Well, for one thing, I can relate to them. And then when I'm trying to figure out, okay, well, what am I missing? What pieces of this puzzle am I missing? Those books help me find those pieces to the puzzle, and put it all together so that I can create a full, well-rounded package, a full musician, not just a guy who, and by having worked in corporate for many years before I went full-time, I wasn't far off anyway, but the ability to be not just a talent, you know, not just rely on talent, but on being that person who people want to call. Because you can have a guy who can play circles around everybody, and he may be sitting at home waiting for his phone to ring and never get a call because people don't want to deal with him.
Sure.
Or it could be the guy who is habitually late and has the band leader or the artist on pins and needles, wondering, are they about to lose this contract or get penalized or docked because this super musician, talented for days, thinks that they can show up whenever they feel like it, you know? So, and then there's the business side of it where you have to figure out, well, how do I sustain this? Where do I invest my money? What's my next step so that I can take this to the next level? Those are the type of books that give you that mindset to think the way you need to think in order to be successful in your journey. So that's why those are two of my favorite books.
Man, that's absolutely awesome. We talk about that on the YouTube channel, the EntreMusician, definitely having your business on point. Being on time is like number one. That's uno, because being on time is actually, if you show up on time, you're actually late to the gig.
Right, exactly. You know, that's late. Yeah.
But having that opportunity, and you said it very well, to be personable enough where people want to hire you, that's key. Yeah, you can play your drums, brother, but if you are unhireable because of your characteristics, your personality, so thank you for that, man. Thank you for those two books, the Millionaire Next Door and Rich Dad Poor Dad. So I'll put those up on the screen so people can actually see that. And man, now we know what's next for you. You've done this incredible project that's going to be released in a couple of days called Silky. You're working with some of the brightest and best in the business. And you're finding too, since your trip from Ethiopia, working online has been more of what you do today, right? How many times do you actually get into the studio and go as a band? Are those times more far in between? Are you doing more work individually and putting the tracks together? Or are there still those organic times that you're creating in the studio?
There aren't enough of those times for me to remember. It's a great experience because you get to kind of vibe off of each other. So it's not a lost art or anything, but it's just more convenient with the
Sure.
way schedules are nowadays, with everything being social media and
Yeah.
just so much going on.
Sure.
Um, it's just, we just find it easier
Hmm.
to just work from your own studios at home, and then we put it all together. So
Absolutely.
that's yeah, yeah. So I mean, and then when you listen to it, because of the caliber of the musicianship, it's like, man, it sounds like you guys were in the same place, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it's been done like that for years. And I know in, boy, as early as 1997, it was becoming like the new standard when Michael
mm-hmm.
McDonald and Patti LaBelle, I mean, that was like a big thing because he was in
Right.
London and she was somewhere else. And they put that duet out together, but it really has become the standard. But that leads to
Right.
my next question, because you have such fabulous music that people can watch on YouTube with 9 albums. Have you ever considered recording a live album? You know, Earl Carter live?
I have, and I will. That's one of the things that's on the agenda, and I'm actually a part of a couple of live DVDs that Marcus Johnson did. One that we did a long time ago, I think 2002 or three, and then he did another one. He recorded another one about 3 or 4 years ago, and actually David Dyson and myself are on both of those.
Mm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and I like the way they were put together. Um, and how they featured everybody. Everyone had an opportunity to shine and so forth. He's an unselfish guy. So
Sure.
yeah. So I guess he figures if 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 you win, I win too. We all win.
True. That's
So
absolutely right. I
yeah.
actually had an opportunity when I was down in the DC area to watch that DVD, that Marcus Johnson live DVD. I was with
Which one? The one
uh,
we did a long time ago, or
well,
the new
this
one?
this had to be. I'm thinking this is 2005, 2006. Chris,
Okay.
I was telling you about Christopher Rhodes, a bass player
Okay.
down there in
Okay. So
Omaha.
this was a different one then. Okay.
Yeah, but I believe Earl Carter was on this because I'm just trying to track the timeline. No, I apologize. This is more closer to 2008 because
Okay.
Sound Doctrine was doing a lot of traveling down there. We'd been the first time we showed up was at the Capitol Jazz Fest, and then we were able to get with one of the promoters down there who kept bringing us back. Uh,
Right.
but we would always hang out with Chris Rhodes, and so he
Right.
was showing us and introducing us Trendle Thomas, H. Wade Johnson, Glenn Douglas, you know,
Great
and
musicians. Yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
great musicians. So yeah, I actually saw that and didn't know who David Dyson was. As a matter of fact, we're going to have a conversation
So,
with him next week. So
okay, so that would be the one that he and I was. That was the one from about 2003, probably. Then it was probably
gotcha.
still popular. Yeah.
Hmm.
If I think David and I won that
Oh,
one.
you were both on it, definitely. And so,
Yeah, yeah.
you keep praying, you keep working, and then you have an opportunity to have personal conversations with these guys. Because, like I said in the first video, I was really admiring you guys from afar, and so grateful that as time has passed, we've been had the opportunity to develop these relationships. You know,
Right. Do you know a guy named? And I know this is supposed to be about me, but it's more about. I'm all about the everybody else
the
and
community, yeah.
the community. Exactly. Dan Wilson
Oh,
out
absolutely.
of
Dan,
yeah.
yeah, Dan's out of Akron. As a matter of fact, Sound
Mhm.
Doctrine, we brought Dan down twice. He was our guitarist
I
twice.
thought you did. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah,
thought you
he's
did.
absolutely stellar
Oh
guitarist,
yeah. Oh yeah.
hands down.
Phenomenal.
Yeah,
Phenomenal.
he's
Yeah.
about 45 minutes away from where we are in Akron, Ohio, and doing great things. Started a family. I know his life is going
Right.
to change from that perspective, but very deep
Right.
young man. We knew he was a prodigy then. Also, we brought Keith McKelly, who was on saxophone. We brought
Right.
Michael Austin. We were doing, you know, we were trying to make it happen, and still are. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Dan Wilson was just, and still is, an excellent musician.
Oh, absolutely. I thought you brought him down. I remember hearing about that. I think one of the places, did he play Opus 88 by chance?
I'm almost sure he did, because he's doing a lot of solo stuff now. I'm almost sure that he did. He may have even been at Ram's Head, as far as I know, but he is
probably.
I'm trying to think of the Joey DeFrancisco is who he's working with now, and was on Joey's last CD, the jazz organist.
Right. Oh yeah, I know he's doing a lot now. I think this was before he actually got out there doing his own thing, and I think he was doing a lot of side. But even as a side man, I would watch the videos. Who was the sax player? It was another sax player.
Yeah, there was either Keith McKelly or Michael Austin. One of the two.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. I heard him trading off. But he would sit down and play. He was sitting down, just no effect pedals and none of that. Just big body jazz box. Sit down, just relax, and would blaze. I mean, just blaze that guitar. You know, I said that guy, he's going places.
Absolutely, this dude was like 21 at the time or whatever. He was a young kid, man. And so, yeah, we're going to have a conversation with him. As a matter of fact, as we get into the months ahead, I'm grateful for the amount of EntreMusicians who have agreed to come on and have a conversation with us, because you're right. It is definitely about building the community. But as we're building the community, right now, in the few minutes we have left, our time is with Earl Carter. Now, when we ended the last interview, one of the things that you said about what you wanted to see happen with your artistry was to be able to increase your discography and you know, be able to retire from the royalties that you're creating. Now, have there been some placements of your music and other multimedia, like like movies or commercials or different things like that? Are you looking to shoot your artistry and your music that way as well?
Yes, I am. I haven't put the amount of time and effort into that though, and I have a couple of placements in soundtracks, but they're from the early '90s, and I have a lot. Oh, I had a sub-publishing contract as well in Switzerland, and that was for which project? I think that was 495 actually. Where I stripped the guitar lead, and they wrote lyrics over top of all of my originals on that one, and so I received that. That was about the best royalty payments I received, was through a third party. I think the name of that publishing company over there was called Suka. BMI tracked the money for me on this end, and Suka paid them, and so I had the publishing deal there and getting the royalties from that, and then I received royalties from my smooth jazz projects, from getting radio play on different stations, what few stations are left. Because by the time I actually got into doing it the right way, learning how to really get it out there and using the marketing company and all that, they were starting to change all of a lot of the smooth jazz stations. Yeah, the formats were being changed, exactly. So, but I got in it early enough to where I was getting royalty checks from that as well. So you have a couple of soundtrack placements. You have one sub-publishing deal, and a lot of radio royalties from radio play. And then there's the downloading and the streaming.
Yeah.
Problem with that was when I gave up. I went with a couple times. I went with the major distributor. They kind of took all of that when but it was a trade-off for the to get my brand up a little.
Sure.
Trying to build my brand.
Sure.
Yeah. So
there's always a trade-off. There's always how much of the cake do you want to give up to have a cake in the first place?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I do have a game plan that hopefully will allow me to get back into the studio more and get that catalog up to where I needed to be for me to say, okay, now I can go sit on an island and kick my feet up and watch the bank account grow while I relax, instead of the constant. Right now, a lot of people don't realize, and I guess they do. That's why there's several people aren't full-time musicians, because they'll work a professional 9 to 5, and if they're a musician, they'll just do it when they feel like it, and because they have they don't have to rely on the income as a major source.
Absolutely.
So, but if you are, unless you set up the residual passive income streams, you're always working on active income, which requires a serious grind.
Yeah,
serious grind. So
am I trading time for money? And when I don't have to trade my time for money, then that's when I'm really becoming wealthy and really becoming profitable.
Exactly.
The millionaire next door.
Yeah, there you go. That's why I read. That's exactly why I read.
Now, what's a typical day look like for Earl Carter? What's your typical day? Since we're talking about trading time for money, you as the EntreMusician, what's your schedule typically?
Okay, so during the week, right now, and it depends on the season. For example, in the spring and summer, my schedule is different than it is in the fall and the winter. So right now, we're in the cold season.
Yeah.
During the week, I'm doing stuff like what we're doing right now, the interviews. So when we finish, I'm going to work on a couple of tracks that a guy sent me because he's working placements and he needs some guitar work on it. And then I'm going to teach a couple of sessions, guitar lessons. I'm sorry, and they're going to be. I'm going to their homes actually. So I do in studio sessions, lessons, and then I'll go to. I'm kind of cutting back on going to the different places because we talked about how in the other interview how the traffic is in this area, so it can be rough. Yeah,
exactly.
So right. So during the week I'm doing a lot of administrative stuff and marketing and promotion, and then I'm teaching and then I'm working on the in the studio on projects, and then I'm also learning a lot of material because on the weekend I'm always doing gigs, and if I'm it's not a combination of this. It's at least one or two. You have your agency work, agency band work. You have your sideman work. You have your frontman artist work, and then you have your praise and worship where you want to keep that fresh as well. So you're learning new, So and then you need to retain all of that stuff unless you're charting everything out. You have to lock it all up in here. If people think it's easy if they're not a musician. Musicians understand. They think that we're like a DJ, where you just call a song up and just YouTube, and okay, yeah. No, we have to actually learn this stuff,
Exactly.
So the grind is real. It's real. Yeah.
The dream is free, but the grind is going to cost you. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Now, a final question for you, brother, is what is a question that you never get in any interview that you do that you hope that the person asks? Like if there was something that you thought, wow, I wish he would have asked me this, or I would have loved to talk about that. What is that thing?
I have no idea, to be honest with you. The question that uh, where do I want to, and you know what, this is a typical corporate question, but we never talk about it in this
It's
environment
setting.
here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where do you see yourself at 10 years from now?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. Because of a lot of,
So where
okay,
do
so,
you?
so
Where do
all
you
right,
see
so
yourself? Oh, I got it. I got the answer for you. On the beach, watching the waves
yeah,
go
yeah, you
by.
see, you
Collecting.
already know. You already know. But a lot of people don't expect that answer because they assume that if you're doing something you love and you have a passion for it,
Right.
that you plan on just doing that until the day you die.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
some of it kind of gets. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Even though I enjoy what I love, I'm blessed to be able to do what I love doing.
Sure.
But some of it does get old though.
Sure.
It gets old. So you want to and then you have to keep it fresh.
Right.
Otherwise, you lose your following. You
That's right.
know.
That's right.
So you have to always be thinking. You have to be on your feet, on your toes, and say, okay, what am I doing next to take this to the next level? But at the same time, where do I want to be 10 years from now? Do I? And then it changes because when you're young and starting out, everybody's I want 10 Grammys, uh, uh, a Bentley, and a mansion and a yacht. You know
Right.
that's what you want then.
Right.
Yeah, but as you get older, and especially after you've actually accomplished maybe not all that, but a lot of the things that living in America allows you
Sure.
to acquire. You know, you say, you know what, it's not all the material stuff. It's okay,
Right.
but it's but so much that you can get until it becomes redundant.
That's
Because
true.
when you get to a certain level of success, um, you're gonna live comfortably anyway. And I'm talking about in any career. That's why they always say, in comparison to a lot of other countries, we're rich as a nation
Oh
anyway.
yeah.
You
Oh
know,
yeah.
so but you don't understand that as when you're starting out, you just want as much materialistic fame and fortune
That's
that you
right.
can get. You know, and you want it quickly. Exactly. So,
But a
um,
well-balanced life for an entre musician, the most successful entre musicians understand a well-balanced life of my
right
faith, my family, my
there you go.
funky music, to be able to employ all of that. And no,
Mhm.
there's no gaps in there. Everybody feels,
Right. Right.
if my family is not happy, my wife and my
Mhm.
children are not happy,
Right.
then I don't care how many times I'm gigging out there, I'm out of balance, you know.
Right, right.
So
So your priorities change
that's
as
right.
as you get older and wiser. Your priorities change, and you understand that there are more important things in life than you realize. So now,
Absolutely.
I do want in 10 years from now, I do want to be on that beach, kick back, just reading a book
Yeah.
and checking my bank account and seeing that, oh, okay, I'm making money while I'm sitting here. You know, that's where I'm at.
Absolutely. Well, man, it's been fantastic talking with you. I know that people can get at you at your website at
Yeah,
earl-carter.com. I know that you
right.
do all the social, so you can jump on Facebook and check Earl out. He has wonderful videos, YouTube videos. So climb on the YouTube channel and check out Earl's music. Check him out, his performances, the songs to his 8 incredible albums, as well as the one that's coming out in a few days called Silky. It's been my pleasure and delight to be in conversation with you, Brother Earl. Peace and blessings to you, man. Any last
Same
words?
for you. Just my last words would be: don't be afraid to live your dream.
Yeah,
And I can honestly say that. And here's the thing: you'll usually when you start out, you will be afraid because you're not sure what the outcome is. But there's this saying for fear. This it's an actually an acronym. I think it's something like false uh, expectations appearing real, something like that.
mm.
Something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As
Yeah,
in you're anticipating the outcome, but that might not be what's going to happen anyway. So
Absolutely.
just and when you start out as an entrepreneur, you may lose sleep at night thinking, I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay my mortgage. Where's the money going to come from? But if you have faith and belief in God, belief in yourself, and your ability to accomplish what you have to accomplish, you'll be just fine. So
Absolutely.
that's my last words.
Final last words from the one who's doing it for real. That's Earl Carter. He is an incredible EntreMusician. My name is Jere B. I'm part of the community. I'm an EntreMusician, and so are you. And we'll see you next time. Blessings to you.
Blessings.